Let me show you a few of the ways I use Google Forms. Google Forms makes it really easy to collect a lot of information very quickly. So I have used Google Forms for a library orientation quiz where I have students enter their name and I do have them put in their teacher so I can sort results by teacher and by block. And it takes them through a basic review of some of the information we cover and walks them through some activities that I want them to complete as part of our orientation review. On the end of this review, I also have just a general survey, what kind of technology they have at home, what kind of software they've used. Now, me individually surveying 400 students and inputting this data would just not be worth my time, but having them quickly click through this on a survey gives me some great data. So let me show you what the data looks like. Here's all of the responses, and there's around 440 students have filled out this form. And if I go to the form menu, I have a great feature to show summary of responses. Google's going to make some wonderful charts and graphs for me based on this data. So if I go down to those last survey questions about what kind of technology they have, I can see that most of my students have a PC at home, and 30% of our student population has a Mac at home. And then I can go down and see which tools they've used. So while most of my students have used a tool like PowerPoint, where 97% say they've used it, very, very few have used a tool like Logster, only 8%. Some of my other favorite ways to use Google Forms are to track textbooks. So at the beginning of the year when you distribute books to students, you can have them fill out a form. I would definitely put class periods in here if you have more than one. And they can put in their book number, rate the book's condition, and make a list of any of the damages. And then you have that automatically in a spreadsheet for you, which you can reference at the end of the year when they turn the book in. I also like to do a survey at the beginning of the year, so you can do a classroom survey, ask students to give you basic information, and you'll have this all year. You can have their contact information, whether or not they ride the bus, and you can have them rate themselves on various items. Peer evaluations are fun. You can link this form to your website and students can fill one out for each person who does a presentation, and they can rate each other on the speaker's delivery and content of their presentation. And I'll also use forms to track student progress. So this would be great for a writer's workshop. I'll have students come in and fill out whether or not they immediately need a conference, what they're working on today, and it'll take them through some tasks associated with it. And of course, I like to use forms for tests, quizzes, and even just homework submissions. So that was Google Forms in a flash. As you can see, there are really a ton of different ways that you can use a Google form. Anytime you're collecting data or information from students, stop for a moment and see if a form might be a good fit. It can be a great time saver for you.